Hello guys and welcome back for the February JRPG news roundup for 2023. We start with the Falcom news as always, and a thank you to Hansuke once again for his hard work. Kicking off on the merchandise side, there is going to be an English novelisation for Ys 8, releasing in October 2023. Pre-orders are not up as of yet, but I'll keep an eye on this, mostly because I want one. A few soundtracks have made their way to streaming services. Crimson Sin's OST is now fully available for your listening pleasure, and the full version of the Northern War opening has also followed suit. Now, while we're touching on the Northern War anime, it is worth mentioning that the English dub will not see the return of Reen's or Altina's standard actor due to what they state as unfortunate circumstances. This could be related to Crunchyroll's anti-union stance, but no further information was given here. However, it is worth noting that they will both reprise their roles in Trails into Reverie, where their lines have already been recorded. Finally, another Trails figure is on the way, this time a 1/8 scale figure of V-Class Cell via Kotobukiya. No further information on this one as of yet. Moving to the game side of things, EOW Games, a Korean developer and publisher, will be working on a mobile title focused around the Gagarv trilogy, though no release date has been given as of yet. The prologue trailer for the upcoming release of Ys Memoir, The Oath from Felghana, has also seen the light, setting the stage for Adol's return in this much beloved adventure. This will be releasing on April 27th for Japan as stated before. And last of all, Trails, and Kondo doesn't want you to forget about it, at least that's what he said in an interview with Gamer near the middle of the month, but he has reiterated that Ys is the focus of 2023, with not only the Switch version of Oath but also Ys 10 on the horizon as well. Whether they get back to Trails next year is anyone's guess, but I'm personally happy that we have one more year to catch up. And talking about catching up, Trails into Reverie also has its reverse cover contest that recently went up. Put your vote in while you can before its June release. Now we jump over to the general JRPG news, and we're starting with the merchandise side. Xenoblade takes the stage first as the Figma prototype for Mio was shown very recently, which might suggest that her scale figure is also close to having a completed prototype as well. The latest Fire Emblem title in Engage is also getting some celebratory merchandise, including acrylic stands, tapestries, key holders, and a hell of a lot more miscellaneous gear. These will come to Japanese fans in April 2023, but we in the West can probably find a way to get some ourselves too. Next up is Tales of, and Pinbox are once again getting in on the mix as they've announced that they will be providing merchandise not just for Trails, but also Tales now. Don't get confused. This will cover several games within the series. More information will be given soon, I'm sure. A couple of figures will round us out in this section. A Tales of Destiny 2 1/7 scale figure of Riala celebrating the 20th anniversary of the game has been announced, and the Dohalim prototype from Tales of Arise has also been shown off for the first time, following on from Alphen and Rinwell. Atlus now, and it's Pinbox once again, because they did announce that they were working with Atlus on pins for the likes of Shin Megami Tensei a couple of months back, and now pins from SMT5 are available to pre-order, due to ship in June 2023. Good Smile Company have also announced that Joker and Kasumi Nendoroids will be coming out in the future. The Like a Dragon franchise was also brought into the fold, as DIG ISM are going to be making high quality depictions of Kiryu, Ichiban and Majima, but outside of the announcement images we don't have much else to go on as of yet, but it's worth mentioning at the very least. Jumping to Atelier now, and I'm sure you'll know that figures will be mentioned here if you're familiar with these roundups. A prototype of Claudia and Ryza in Chinese dresses was shown off. These are being developed by Fat Company. The 25th anniversary Ryza figure has also gone up for pre-order with two versions. The standard comes with the figure, barrel and base, while a deluxe version costing 30,000 yen adds a background and retail bonuses. This releases in February 2024. Spiritel, known for their more cultured figures, have announced another swimsuit variant of Ryza based on her art from Ryza 3. And they've also noted that Sophie is due a Negligee figure too. A prototype was shown for this. Finally, Ramizel from Atelier Sophie 2 had a prototype shown for her 1/7 scale figure, and this will release in spring 2023. Rounding out the merchandise side of things will be Square Enix. So first of all, the 1.5 and 2.5 remix soundtracks for Kingdom Hearts are now available on music streaming services. Neo The World Ends With You is having a collab of merch involving Village Vanguard. This includes acrylic stands, t-shirts and headphones, of course. Some Final Fantasy VII Shinra AirPod cases have gone up for pre-order on the NA site due to release in August 2023, though these are only for the first gen of AirPods. And last of all, Gunpla enthusiasts might like this, but to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Xenogears, a collection of model kits based on the game have been announced by Square Enix, with these releasing to Western fans in early 2024. Flipping the script now, we move to the game side of things, starting with Square this time. Now, they've announced declining financial results for the first 9 months of the fiscal year, but I think this is to be expected. This year hasn't had much in the way of AAA releases, and last year saw the release of titles like Marvel's Avengers, which did sell well initially, and of course Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, while 2022 was mostly tided over with AA releases like Diofield Chronicle and Harvestella. I expect 2023 will see the financial results improve with the upcoming release of 2 big games in particular, those being Final Fantasy XVI and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In other news, Square have also stated that they will be merging with Luminous Productions, the development team behind Forspoken, as they look to diversify their position. This will be occurring on May the 1st. Also following on from the likes of Tactics Ogre Reborn, many strategy fans were whispering the name of Final Fantasy Tactics, and in an interview from Ichiro Hazama following the release of Fiat Rhythm, he stated that the team are incredibly busy at the moment on their own project. Ominous. Now, for those looking to get themselves the physical versions of the Final Fantasy Pixel Master Collection, you can jump over to PlayAsia and see if they're still available, though I will say, as the time of recording, only the Switch version appears to be on the site. There's also been a lot more information concerning Final Fantasy XVI, with some media outlets getting the chance to test it out, noting the Eidolon battles and indeed the intriguing premise. It's also been noted that the game will have a demo 2 weeks before release with a save carryover available. And last of all, Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers that released last year got a very large update this month to address reported bugs and to remedy the port's frame rate issues. We move now to a game that also saw a bunch of game-breaking bugs fixed in the recently launched Legend of Dragoon on PS Plus. When this first came out, it was littered with problems, one of the most egregious being that using Dragoon magic could actually soft-lock the game. However, a couple of days ago, a patch for version 1.02 was released that fixed many such issues players had. And we're not done with the fixes, or at least the promised fixes, because the remaster of Tales of Symphonia was also in a sorry state when it released earlier this month. Plagued with glitches, an inability to skip most cutscenes, a general lack of polish, and a combat transition screen that bordered on eye abuse, Bandai Namco came out with a statement that they were very sorry for the poor condition of the port and were aiming to fix it, though they didn't go into any specifics. Great that they've mentioned it, but let's be real here, it should never have released in this state in the first place. Anyway, back to some more positive news. Loop 8 recently had its opening movie released. This of course was delayed recently, but is getting ever closer to a release. It remains one of my most anticipated games of the year, and this trailer has just fed into that even more. Atelier next. Unfortunately, the discounts on the series appears to have ended, and I imagine that this was all in aid of the upcoming release of Atelier Rise of 3, which just went golden. A live stream on the 20th of February also showed off a new story trailer and the wide array of characters joining us on the adventure, both old and new. And last of all, before we get to the upcoming releases, let's have a quick roundup of the games that came to subscription services. We know that Legend of Dragoon came to PlayStation Plus, but that was also flanked by the likes of Wild Arms 2, Harvest Moon Back to Nature, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, and Scarlet Nexus. Xbox Game Pass, on the other hand, added the likes of Soul Hackers 2 and Wo Long Dynasty. Now, upcoming releases. Delays first, and just the one this month, though it is once again a game that I am looking forward to. Eternights has now been delayed from spring to summer of this year, though it did get a new trailer. Next up, fan translations, of which there is also one. The Yakuza PSP spin-off Black Leopard Like a Dragon New Chapter is getting a release in August 2023, thank you to those involved with that. There were also a few Japan-only releases mentioned, the first of which being Sega and Yoko Taro, who have announced a mobile title called 404 Game Reset. An odd title, but what more do you expect from Yoko Taro? This is due out in 2023 for Japan only. Nippon Ichi Software, on the other hand, announced a more traditional title for PlayStation 4, 5 and Switch. It's a superpowers come academy turn-based RPG called Zykotrice, and it's releasing on June the 29th, but maybe with any luck though, it might also come west in the future. Moving to a couple of visual novels now, of which I will keep this brief. The Infinity series, that includes the likes of Never 7 and Ever 17, will be receiving remakes as stated by Mage's director Makoto Asada. It's worth noting though that these aren't the only games getting remakes, though no others were confirmed as of yet. He also mentioned that new games in the science adventure franchise are planned for every 2 to 2.5 years, and a spin-off is currently in the works. Now, I'm sure many of you already know what was announced via Nintendo Direct, but such are these news summaries. We'll cover most of the big ones, or at least the ones that haven't been mentioned before. DLC first, Fire Emblem Engage will be getting its Wave 2 DLC soon, but I was more intrigued by the Xenoblade Chronicles free Wave 4 teaser, which featured some very familiar faces. I might need to fire this up again and see what it's all about. As for the games, well, there was an announcement of a Barton Kaitos 1 and 2 remaster coming to Switch in summer 2023. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection, which includes the first 3 remastered entries, will also come to Switch and PC on June the 1st, which includes new illustrations, an auto-mapping feature, and new difficulty options. Advance War 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is coming to Switch on April the 21st. A new IP by Level 5 was also announced called Deca Police for PS4, PS5 and Switch, releasing in 2023. We didn't get much outside of the trailer, but it looks like an interesting premise, and Level 5 haven't done too much wrong over the past decade, so stamp this in your diary. Master Detective Archives Raincode got an official release date of June the 30th for Switch, another game that I think has the potential of being an underappreciated gem. And finally, for the English side at least, there was mention that GBA games will be coming to Switch, including the likes of Golden Sun, Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. But we're not done with Nintendo Direct just yet, because on the Japanese side, there was an announcement that a new game for the Atelier series is also on the way, and it's not Riser. Celebrating the 25th anniversary of the series, a remake of the first game, Atelier Marie, The Alchemist of Solberg, will be coming to PS4, 5, Switch and PC on July the 13th, 2023 worldwide, though unfortunately, the West will only get a digital version. If you want the physical version and the potential of a retailer bonus, you'll need to use a proxy or Play Asia. This version will add additional events, provide more guidance to new players, and also introduce an unlimited mode, which removes the time limit to be more in line with the modern iterations. It's also touted as being around about 10 hours in length, so it can be a good palate cleanser between your more arduous journeys. Finally, let's go over the other upcoming releases, starting with the Caligula Effect Overdose, which will be coming to PS5 in 2023 as mentioned by NIS America. A retro turn-based RPG called Meg's Monster will be coming to Switch, Xbox and PC in March 2023. It includes one of the composers from Atelier Riser 2. An action RPG called Touhou Shinkensai will be releasing via Marvelous Games worldwide for PlayStation 4, 5, Switch and PC. Record of Agorist War will be coming to Switch on March 9th, though this will definitely not be for me. A collection of 2 games called Ninja Jajamaru The Lost RPGs has released digitally for Switch and PS4 on February the 21st. This represents the first time these have been localized outside of Japan. Turn-based JRPG Mugen Souls will be coming west for Nintendo Switch in April 2023. This is developed by Idea Factory, and it is one of the more cultured titles in this roundup, so bear that in mind. Furiyu also mentioned a new action RPG called Cry Machina for PS4, 5 and Switch. This will be releasing in fall of 2023. Some outlets have suggested that this could be a sequel to Crystar, at least based on the name, and a trailer went up very recently to give us an idea of what it entails. The game's premise is focused on girls fighting to achieve catharsis in a world where humanity is now extinct. A survival horror RPG from back in 1996 also got a surprise mention. Makoto Asada, who we mentioned earlier in the visual novels section, also noted that a new Corpse Party title was in production with a planned worldwide launch. This apparently will still maintain the original's core fundamentals, but will have the horror element taken up to the next level. Fairy Fencer Refrain Chord will be launching April 25th in the West for PS4, PS5, Switch and PC, with limited editions going up for pre-order on February 28th, so have a look if you're interested. And lastly, the action RPG Trinity Trigger will be coming to North America on April 25th and EU on May 16th for PS4, 5 and Switch. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for more JRPG content, and consider joining my Patreon if you're interested. Peace.